Alright, welcome to today's video. This video was actually placed on request on how to blend image on Pixellab. Blending image to the background, it's one thing that you will have to be working most of the time. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you need to understand is that Pixellab is a rasterized program, so you will have to learn to do these tips and tricks in ways that best suits the design project that you are working on. But generally speaking, I'll be showing you a few things that you need to understand. So the first thing here is to actually bring in our model. Let's create a project. Let's delete this. We don't want this at all. Then let's bring in our image. Let's work with any of these images. Let's work with this. Okay, let's import this image. So you can see that this image right now is not working well with the background. So how do you blend? First, I'm going to show you the most common way to blend in Pixellab. Then I'm going to show you the problem that is wrong with that method. Okay, that is wrong with that method. That is using shape. So the first idea is to bring in a shape. Let's say the shape here. Okay, so the trick here is to put the shape on gradient. Okay, then click on the plus icon here. Then now you see this gradient map here, so you have to click this one, then come to this box, these buckets. Then so once you're here, the trick actually is to take this slider to this part so that it can be transparent. Okay, and once you've done with that, click OK. Then this second part, which is this one, you have to now make it the color of the background. Okay, so you have to click here, come to this color picker, and just pick any color since it's the color of the background, especially the parts that will be fading from, and click OK. So once you're done, click OK again, and now you have this map where we have this blue fading all the way to transparency. So you click OK. Now we have this shape here fading like this. So once you click OK, now you have this fade. Now here is the problem. These only work if you have been taught this before. This only work when the background is plain and not a gradient. It only works. This method, this is the most popular method taught by most smartphone designers. It doesn't work when the background is gradient. But if I should change this background color now to the color of this faded gradient, then it's going to work. Let's change the background color by coming to this tab. If you've not watched the interface of Align Motion before, go to the playlist of there's a playlist in the YouTube channel where we have the basics. Just watch. We have the interface of Align Motion well explained in 5 videos. So come to this part, then click on this background color, and let's cancel this. We want to change to solid, then pick color. Okay, the color is already here, but in case you're not seeing the color, you can quickly place the plus icon, go to the eyedropper tool, which is this, then just click somewhere. But this may be different because you may move this movement, this color picker now to another direction. Remember, this is a gradient. All we have, this one is lighter than this. So if I should come and pick here now, it may be different from the color that I've actually used when I was picking for this. So the best practice to do is to not actually come and pick a color again, because you're picking it from a gradient. Cancel. Just come here. Since you've already picked it before, just pick this so that it can be the same color with the previous eyedropper that you've used in picking the color before. So just click OK, and now you can see it's still having the same issue. So in order to remove those edges, let's pick the color again for this gradient background. Go back to your shape and go to edit shape, which is actually this one. Edit shape, then come back to where your color is. Come here and select this color, the dropper tool, the eyedropper tool, and now you cannot pick confidently because since they are all the same. Okay, pick anywhere. Now it's okay, and click OK. Now you're done. So now you've seen that those edges are now gone. The issue there was because the color that we picked was kind of different. Okay, so it's not really working. I don't know why that happened, but now the color are not the same. Both the background and that of this shape are not the same. So you can see that this is blendable. So it's only works when it's a solid color background, so it gives this fade in. Okay, another method that I will really want to teach is using a color from the image to actually create the background, because background helps in making this work very well. So let's delete this. We don't really need it anymore. So now here is the image. Now the background, for this background to actually blend with this image, the background color must be part of the image itself. So what you do is, when you are creating your background color, by coming to here and saying color, you have to pick a color. You have to pick a color from the image itself. So you go to the plus icon, use the eyedropper tool, and now go up to the image and pick somewhere in her skin. Okay, let's start with her skin first. Let's take a very lighter color part, then click OK. Okay, this is the color here. So by picking something that is relating to a color that's already on the image itself, it gives this natural blend, because you can see that the skin is now working with the background because it's the same color. Okay, the same thing can also happen to the dress. Let's use that of the dress. Let's pick a color from the dress. Let's pick something. Let's click. Okay, I don't like this blue. Let's pick something. Let's pick something from the blue. You can pick anywhere, the darker part of the shade. You can pick, just make sure that it's from the dress. Okay, let's just click OK. You can see that now also using the color from the shirt, which is the blue, to make up the background also help to blend it, because the color, there are similarity between what she's wearing and the background. That makes it feels like, oh, there's the light source that is giving both the skin and the shirt the same color that is there in the background. So by using this method, it can work with any background. This is the method that most photographers use. That's the reason why you go to a studio and you snap a picture, and the shirt you are wearing is brown, they put you on a brown background, you're wearing red, they put you on the red background. This is to actually reinforce the image and the color of the dress that you are wearing, to make you pop, okay, in that background. So that is one way that you can actually blend image. Another way that you can also reinforce this is by using color filter. Okay, by using color filter, there's not actually no color filter here in Pixellab, but the method that I use is to actually create a shape, make sure that it's as big as your content, then come here and select the color of the background that you've already picked. Okay, there are two ways you can actually use this color filter. Okay, it's either you use blue or you use orange, because orange, this is about temperature here. In the color theory, color spectrum, we have the warm colors and we have the cool colors. Okay, orange is part of the warm color. So when you apply orange as a filter, it gives this impression of, okay, the design is hot. Okay, and when you apply blue, it gives the impression that the design is cool. So the idea here is to make sure that either you are using a blue, let's use blue because I want it to be like morning. Okay, press OK. Let's use the opacity right here to make that adjustment. So now that we are here, you can come to opacity now, just like I've done, then reduce the opacity till it's so small and so faded, like let's say 10%, or you can reduce it more than that. Now this is like a thin film that has been placed on the design, and you can see as you swipe it across, you can see that it's giving this blend to the background, but it's making the design looks like morning, and the image is no longer that sharp anymore, as if it's standing on its own. It's that's giving it this blend. Okay, so once you are done with something like this, you can actually just lock the layer and continue working on your design. Okay, because in this one now, no matter the direction that you place the image, it is behind that film. That's why I call it color filter. This is actually what Photoshop do with photo filters. So the idea there is actually to reduce the opacity of any shape to a reasonable amount, so that it can give this feel of blend. Okay, so this is what you do. So when you are working with, maybe you want your design to be hot, then you can change this color right here to orange. Okay, let's cancel this, go to orange, color picker. I think there is naturally orange as okay, this orange, and click OK. Okay, this has made the design look hot. Okay, but because our background is actually blue, it may not be really working well. So the idea now is to make the background color to be the skin color. Since this orange is working well with the skin, so let's change the background color to the skin color. Let's come here, and even though you don't even change it to the skin color, you can just make it this orange so that it works with the layer that you are putting on it. So by giving it this orange film, you can see now that it's now blending with the background because there's a tint of that orange of the background on the image itself. So this kind of give you some blend. Okay, so that is how you actually use the color filter methods to make sure that everything is blending well. Remember, this is the idea of temperature, using the warm temperature or using the cool temperature. When using the warm temperature, you use orange. When using the cool temperature, you use blue. But generally speaking, if your background has any other color, let's say green, then your color filter should be green. Okay, so that this can really reinforce the color of the background. So you may not necessarily be doing the cool warm color, but you can actually just use the background color, use it, pick it, and use it as a theme to it. What I simply mean here is, let's say the background color is let's pick something awful green. Let's say it's green. Okay, for instance, now this color filter, you can see even with this warm color, it's still blending well. Like, come on. But there's a problem because you can see the hair is becoming too much reddish, if I may say. So this color filter, now let's make it the same. Okay, cancel. Let's come here and make it the same color. Remember, this works shapes and this works background. So let's come to edit and let's pick this color to be, let's pick that exact green. Okay, this is the green. Okay, now you see it helps introduce that background color into the image, which kind of reinforces the color theme for design. So that's it. So you can actually use different color to match with the background. So the next method that I really want to show you is using drop shadow to create a depth of field. So we are going to use a drop shadow to reinforce this image that is here. Now let's remove this color filter. We are done with you. Now let's see this. Let's add drop shadow to this image, because when you add drop shadow, it kind of shows that okay, you are there when you were taking that shot, like your shadow is actually casting on that background. So somehow it gives the impression that, well, the background does not match, but since your shadow is dropping there, it means that this is natural. That's the impression that it gives. That's why photographers, in the image that you snap in studio, they always give you shadows, because shadow does help you blend the image to the background. Okay, that's what photographers do. So by adding drop shadow, this is where you have to be careful. Okay, increase the blur radius. Just take the X offset is left and right, while the Y offset is up and down. Okay, just take the Y offset more and shift this, take this up a little bit, and yeah, we are good. Okay, but you can see that our shadow is too dark. Okay, it's showing that, oh, this is too, the shadow is too, meaning the light is too strong. Okay, what you do is to click this plus icon where the color is and just bring the opacity down. Okay, this is where you control the opacity of a color. So once you take it down to somewhere here, let's see this first, you can see that the shadow has become more soft, though not soft enough, because I don't really like the drop shadow in Pixellab. It's not really soft enough, but at least that's what we have. It's better than not having shadows at all. So by adding that small drop shadow, you can see that your image is not having this lift from the background. Okay, it's not having this. Let's change this background color to what we had before. Okay, we can change it to the blue, anyone, as long as it matches with what we are doing here. Let's leave it at the orange. So you can see now, just by adding that little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's subtle. Okay, let's increase it a little bit so that you can see it. Okay, so once you are here and you want to increase it, don't temper with all this again. Come here. Okay, come here. Let me use my fingers. This is where you control the opacity of it. So you can actually come here and slide backwards. If you don't like it, add a little. Okay, this gives the impression that actually I am here, I was shot in this background. So it just gives this natural blend that, hey, it's working. So you can see now, just by using this alone, this drop shadow, it helps blend the image to the background. So another method of using shadows is the inner shadow. Okay, by using inner shadow is actually introducing, you are contaminating the image with the background of the background color. So when you come to shadows, these inner shadows, you put it on, you can see that the inner shadow is actually black, but what you do is to make sure that you are picking the color of the background, which is this orange. Just click OK. Okay, you can see that it's too much. You can see that it's too much. I don't know if you can see it carefully. The reason why this is important is because I believe somehow you've tried masking an image, then you discover that there is this bleed of color around the image, like there is this light coming from the background into the image. So there's this, maybe the picture is on a blue background. You can see after masking the image, you will notice that there's a tint of blue around the image. If it's a white background, you notice that there's a tint of white around the image, and that can be very difficult to remove. That was carefully done into the image so that it can blend well with the background. Okay, so by introducing these inner shadows and using the background color to add to the image, it gives this feel that there's a light source leaking the image, leaking the background color into the image. There is the reason why when you want to mask this image, once you introduce this inner shadow using the background color now into the image, on the image, it will be very difficult for somebody to mask it out, to mask those color out. But this is actually generally to give this blend. So you can see that this is actually too much, so you can actually increase the radius, or just reduce it a bit so that it can have this blend. Please don't play with the X and Y at all, don't touch it, because once you do it, this is what you now have. Okay, or just leave it at 0 so that they remain where they are. Okay, so this is what happens. This gives this leak. Now you can see that image itself is now blending well with the background. It's like, man, I was shot here. And now you can actually take out this drop shadow. It doesn't matter here, you can either work with both or you just work with one. So drop shadow and just take it out. Okay, this is another way that can make your image blend well with your background. Now another method that I really want to show you is using gradient. Okay, using gradient is just like using the solid color from the image. Okay, I've told you before that you can actually use, when you use the solid color, that faded shape background does not work, but by using a background that has two colors from the image itself can also work. For example, let's say you want to change the background color now to gradient. Okay, let's click on gradient. Let's pick this first color, click the bucket, go to the image, come here and say let's pick a lighter color. Okay, then for the second image, let's pick a darker color from the dress. Okay, now let's click OK. Now let's change this to radial. I want it to be from the middle out. Okay, let's click OK. Now let's take out this. You can see that what I did before of this inner shadow, you can now see that is leaking into the image. Now this is very difficult to remove, especially if you want to mask it from a different software entirely. So let's go to the inner drop shadow and just turn it off. So by using this color now, this gradient color from the image itself, both the shirt from the shirt, taking the lighter part of the blue and taking the darker and the lighter part of the shirt she's wearing, you've created this glow from the background and kind of gives this blend. You can also do it with the skin. Let's say color. Let's pick the first color. Let's pick this. Our forehead is lighter. Let's click OK. Take the second color and go to a darker part of our skin. Let's say our arms or our neck, something like that. Let's click OK. Okay, now we have the same thing. So when you take image from the picture itself, it gives this nice blend. Okay, so those are a few ways you can actually blend using Pixellab. So thank you so much for watching to the end. Please hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel and turn on the notification bell. And if you like this video, click the like button, share with your friends that you think will need it, share with your WhatsApp group, Facebook group that you think will need it. And until next time, peace.